Why should you get a good score? You'll be scored based on the content, oral fluency, and pronunciation. These three criteria are the basis on which you're scored for this task. Hi guys, Juliet here from English Prep Class. If you're new here, I am Juliet, a Pearson Test of English tutor, and all I basically do on this channel is to teach you strategies and hacks that you need to pass your Pearson Test of English. Remember to hit the subscribe button so that you can also get notified once I put up any new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're the real MVP. Okay, so in today's video, I'll basically be talking about Plus 79 PTE speaking. I've received a lot of questions in the time past, and that is what has informed this video today. PTE speaking is the first module in the Pearson Test of English exam, and it lasts between 30 to 35 minutes on exam day. PTE speaking has 5 tasks in it, which are the read aloud, the repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short questions. One thing about this PTE speaking is that the first 2 tasks, which are the read aloud and the repeat sentence, give significant scores across other modules like the reading module and the listening module. That is why for me, I feel the PTE speaking is the most important module in the PTE exam. Scoring. How are you scored in this task? Why should you get a good score? You'll be scored based on the content, oral fluency, and pronunciation. These 3 criteria are the basis on which you're scored for this task. Now, as you do this task, never forget that these 3 criteria are what to look out for as you do the tasks that make up the speaking module. Now, the first 2 tasks, which are the read aloud and the repeat sentence, you get 3 points for content, 5 points for oral fluency, and 5 points for pronunciation. Then in the other ones, like the describe image and the retell lecture, you get 5 points each for these 3 criteria. This doesn't mean that those other last tasks will give you more marks than the first 2 tasks. The first 2 tasks are very relevant in the Pearson Test of English because they will add significant scores to the other modules. For instance, the read aloud will not just add scores to your speaking. The read aloud will add conspicuous scores to both speaking and your reading. That is why if you're not doing well in your speaking module, it will greatly impact your score across the reading module. So there is need for you to understand how you're scored for this task. I'm going to take my time to explain why you need to take this criteria seriously. Now, the content doesn't really play so much role in this task, but the oral fluency and your pronunciation will give you more marks in this task or in the speaking module. So that is why, if I were you, I will spend more time improving the oral fluency and the pronunciation across this task that make up this module. What does PTE refer to as the content? For instance, in a task like describe image, the content there are the features that make up each photo or each picture that they put up there for you in the exam. For instance, if you're given a bar chart, maybe the numbers on the bar chart or beneath the bar chart, or the names that the bar charts are representing are the features or the contents of the bar chart. So you'll be scored for that content if you're able to name the things that make up that bar chart. That gives you the full score for the content. How about oral fluency? Oral fluency is your ability to speak smoothly, effortlessly, without pauses, without hesitations. Now, you're not going to be speaking too fast or reading the passage before you too fast, like you're being chased by a deer. No, you're just going to read it in such a way that you're not too slow, you're not too fast. How do I mean? For example, if they give you a task like, the girl lives in the next town of Alabama, you're going to read it, the girl lives in the next town of Alabama, not the girl lives in the next town of Alabama. If you read it that way, it's going to impact greatly on your oral fluency score. If you're aiming for plus 79, you have to take into cognizance that your oral fluency is important. You don't have to read too fast, because if you read too fast, you can get a high score in oral fluency. However, your pronunciation score will be impacted. That means you will get a lower score in your pronunciation. This brings me to the next criteria on which you'll be scored for your speaking module. That is the pronunciation. Now, for the pronunciation, Pearson looks at pronunciation or describes pronunciation as your ability to call a word like a native English speaker. You know, words like international, words like mediocre, researcher, those are the way you should call it, like a native English speaker. I know most of the people that write the Pearson test of English are not naturally native speaker. This means that they might have other languages they speak. English is not their first language. So if you're going to write this exam, you're going to take out time to learn how to pronounce words. If it means you listening to TED Talks, if it means you Googling up words and trying to find out the way those words are pronounced, you will be doing yourself a huge favor. So your pronunciation will play a big role in your score for the speaking module. So content, oral fluency, and pronunciation are to be taken seriously because on this basis, that is the basis you'll be scored for the speaking module. So there is need for you to take out time to practice oral fluency. Listen to yourself reading. Get your phone, record yourself as you try to read a passage. Are you being too fast or are you reading too slow? Have you ever taken your time to listen to people that cast news? Do you see the way they take their time to talk about those words, that information they're trying to pass across to you? They are not too fast. Everybody can understand them. Even someone that is not naturally an English speaker can understand them because those words are being pronounced clearly, or the way they read the passage or the way they cast the news is very clear. This is the way Pearson expects you to read the passage or describe the image or retell the lecture that they have given to you. So these three criteria are very important. Now, for some students I have taught, I realized that they try to do very well in the oral fluency and the repeat sentence. But when it comes to the described image, they begin to slow down. And I say to them, no, if you describe this image this way, it's going to affect your oral fluency score because you're just too slow. You're not going to be too slow. You're not expected to be too fast. You're going to be moderate, speaking fluently, effortlessly, so you can get that score for your oral fluency. And learn how to pronounce those words like international. Basically, you know, back in the country where I come from, English is not like our major language. We speak other languages. English is just the normal word, the normal language we speak when we are outside. But basically, English is not our first language. So you can hear people say words like basically, naturally, internationally. I mean, for a native speaker, you don't hear them pronounce words that way. Even words like bag, that's how we pronounce words back in my country, and other people that don't speak English. But a native speaker will say it's bag. You would call the word international. They will call it basically. So these are the minor things you should put effort in improving if you really want to get a +79 in your PTE speaking. And the truth is 79 possible? Yes. I'm a 90 scorer in the Pearson test of English, and I've been able to also produce other 90 scorers in speaking and across other modules of the PTE. So if you can sit down and take your time to practice these criteria, especially the oral fluency and the pronunciation of words, then you'll be ready to get that score that you need for your Pearson test of English. Now, this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you're able to get some important tips that I have shared today. I want to ask you a question. Even if you're not writing PTE today, do you know someone that needs to write PTE, or you have a friend that's been talking about writing an English test of English? Please don't forget to recommend yours truly, Juliet. Okay, you can also follow me on Instagram at English_prep class. Then you can follow me on Facebook at English Prep Class. You'll get more content as I produce content every week, content that will help you ace your PTE exam. I'll see you in my next video next week. Have a nice day. Bye.